In June 1942, during the early years of World War II, the Pacific Ocean became the stage for one of the most important naval battles in history. This battle would take place near a small island called Midway. At the time, Japan had already achieved several major victories across the Pacific and appeared almost unstoppable. Their powerful navy had attacked Pearl Harbor and rapidly expanded their control across large areas of the ocean. However, the United States Navy was preparing to fight back. American commanders believed that stopping Japan's advance was critical for the future of the war. The battle that followed near Midway Island would become one of the most decisive turning points of World War II. After their early victories in the Pacific, Japanese military leaders believed they could defeat the United States Navy in one decisive battle. Their plan was to attack Midway Island, an important American base located in the Pacific Ocean. By capturing Midway, Japan hoped to expand its defensive perimeter and lure the remaining American naval forces into a trap. Japanese commanders expected that once the US Navy arrived to defend the island, their powerful fleet would destroy it. This strategy seemed strong on paper. Japan had several aircraft carriers and experienced pilots who had already proven successful in earlier battles. However, unknown to the Japanese command, the United States had already discovered parts of their secret plan. Before the Battle of Midway began, American intelligence officers achieved an important breakthrough. US codebreakers had been working to decode secret Japanese naval messages. After weeks of effort, they successfully identified Midway as the target of the upcoming Japanese attack. This discovery allowed American commanders to prepare a surprise defense. Instead of sailing blindly into Japan's trap, the US Navy secretly positioned its aircraft carriers near Midway Island. When the Japanese fleet finally arrived, American forces would already be waiting. This intelligence advantage would play a crucial role in the battle that followed. On the morning of June 4, 1942, the Japanese fleet launched the first wave of aircraft toward Midway Island. Dozens of bombers and fighter planes flew across the Pacific sky to attack the American base. When the aircraft reached the island, they began dropping bombs on airfields, buildings, and military defenses. Explosions shook the island as American forces attempted to defend their base. Despite the heavy attack, the airfield at Midway remained operational, and American aircraft quickly launched counterattacks against the Japanese fleet. The battle was now fully underway, with both sides sending aircraft across the ocean in one of the first major naval air battles in history. After the Japanese attack began, American aircraft carriers launched their own aircraft toward the enemy fleet. Torpedo bombers and dive bombers flew across the ocean searching for the Japanese ships. The mission was extremely dangerous. American pilots faced heavy anti-aircraft fire and attacks from Japanese fighter planes protecting the fleet. Several American aircraft were shot down during the first waves of attack. Despite the losses, American pilots continued searching for the enemy carriers. Their determination would soon lead to one of the most dramatic moments of the entire battle. As American aircraft searched for the Japanese fleet, a group of US dive bombers suddenly discovered the enemy carriers at a critical moment. Japanese aircraft were being refueled and rearmed on the carrier decks when the American planes arrived. Seizing the opportunity, the American dive bombers began their attack. One after another, they dived toward the Japanese ships and released their bombs. Within minutes, several Japanese aircraft carriers were hit by powerful explosions. Fires spread rapidly across the decks, destroying aircraft and equipment. The attack had caught the Japanese fleet completely by surprise and dramatically changed the course of the battle. After the American dive bombers struck the Japanese fleet, the situation quickly turned disastrous for Japan. Within a short period of time, several Japanese aircraft carriers were heavily damaged or destroyed by the bombing attacks. Fires spread across the carrier decks, while explosions destroyed aircraft, fuel supplies, and weapons stored on board. The Japanese Navy struggled to control the damage, but the destruction was severe. These aircraft carriers had been some of the most powerful ships in Japan's fleet and had played a major role in earlier victories, such as the attack on Pearl Harbor. Losing them during the Battle of Midway was a devastating blow to Japan's naval strength. After suffering heavy losses, the Japanese fleet was forced to retreat from the battle. The destruction of several aircraft carriers and the loss of experienced pilots weakened Japan's ability to continue offensive operations in the Pacific. Meanwhile, the United States Navy had successfully defended Midway Island and dealt a major blow to Japanese naval power. The Battle of Midway became one of the most important victories for the United States during World War II. From this point forward, the balance of power in the Pacific began to shift. Today, historians consider the Battle of Midway to be one of the most important turning points of World War II. The victory stopped Japan's rapid expansion across the Pacific and gave the United States the opportunity to begin pushing back against Japanese forces. In the months and years that followed, Allied forces launched a series of campaigns that slowly moved closer to Japan. The Battle of Midway demonstrated how intelligence, strategy, and courage could change the course of a global conflict. The events of those few days in June 1942 reshaped the balance of power in the Pacific War.